and welcome back to Inside the Green Room, second episode.
Number 2, man.
Of season 2.
Two times.
We got it.
Yeah.
And I see you got the nice merch on now, too.
Yeah, we rocking. I don't know if they selling it in stores yet. Wifey's actually a little upset she don't have one, so we'll make sure we get another hat.
We gotta talk to Amjad about that.
Jed. Together. All right.
Welcome back to Inside the Green Room. A lot for us to discuss. Your homie came on the show today, or is coming on the show today.
Yeah. We got a surprise guest. Well, not a surprise guest, but a special guest. Kendrick Perkins, aka Big Perk, coming on the show, coming up. So a lot of people show a lot of love, man. It's fraternity in the NBA, and it's good to see guys like him show love and respect to me, a guy that I've watched him since I was younger and looked up to him.
Yeah, I want to ask him about his thoughts on big men in the league, and I want to hear what really happened between him and Drake.
I want to know too, but I also want to know how he got on, because I didn't expect him to ever be on TV. I expect him to, try to do what he's doing now, and it's coming easy to him. He's a natural. He's doing great. I said I'm happy for him, and I said one day I want to do it myself. So I want to see some insight what he's got.
Yeah, he's going to.
He's got his spot.
He's got his spot.
Professional questions. You want to know gossip about Drake. I want to know business and jobs.
Fair enough. Yeah, give me the gossip.
Yeah.
All the basketball gossip. Couple of things that I wanted to discuss with you about.
Yes, sir.
First off, I spoke to Joe this morning.
Did you? JB.
For those who don't know, Joe Branch is Danny's former agent for Roc Nation. He wished us good luck on our endeavors for season 2. Joe's the homie.
Yes, he is the homie.
And he's the only person who can call me all black everything without me getting mad about it.
Well, he still communicates here and there when he can. Obviously, our communication is limited.
Yeah.
So that's why he wished us luck through you. But
he
Joe,
can't even text you? He can't. Yeah, he can't.
It's different. It's hard. There's some stipulations.
For those who don't know, Joe Branch is now the assistant GM for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Congratulations, Big Joe, man. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you, man. He's done some great things for me on and off the court. He's gonna do many great things for Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. And we got at one point now, maybe I'll ask him about Andrew Wiggins resurging, because he's been looking well so far this year.
The team is looking good.
Yep.
Cat is playing well. A little feisty, but he's playing well, man. He's fighting guys, getting in guys' faces. He's got into it with Rudy the other day.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What's going on, man?
Speaking of looking good, recently you wore a pair of Nipsey Hussle-inspired Pumas to the game. And you know what's interesting? And we're going to talk about the Raptors matchup too.
Okay.
Because I want your thoughts on that.
Okay.
But this team that you're on now, unlike last year, you got a lot of features in that walkway. You know how the team puts out on the Instagram account?
Yes.
You get a lot of features on it, the guys who dress well. So last year, it was like you and Serge, like the top guys.
Not anymore.
And Norm and like Fred and Kyle, like Norm and Fred and Pascal, they wore their own brands, right?
Yeah.
So, but you and Serge are real fashionable. Now.
We tried to be.
Yeah, tried to be.
Serge is, I try to be.
There you go. But now.
They don't care. They don't care about what I'm wearing. I'm not one of the fashion icons on this team. It's crazy because me and Kuz wore the same exact sweatsuit the other day. They posted him everywhere. Mind you, it wasn't on purpose. I didn't text him like, hey, Kuz, we're the same Puma. So I walked in before him. He walked in after me, and I said, what the is going on here, bro? And Bron got his jokes. Look at y'all, 2 light-skinned with wearing the same Kill Bill outfit.
It did look like a Kill Bill outfit.
Yeah, it was like the reverse colors of the Kill Bill. It was all black with the yellow, and I wore. But every league fits. This upscale hype. Everybody's cool. Wearing the Revenge Puma, so I just wore the same he wore today. I didn't get a post anywhere. It's all good though. But Kuz is a fashion icon, man.
Yeah.
That guy, so I'm learning from those. Even though he's younger than me, I'm still learning from those guys and working my way up to being.
I do have a question. So you don't wear a lot of things twice, right? Not a guy in your position.
You can't or you shouldn't. When you have that much camera spotlight on you.
You can't.
It's tough to wear the same thing twice because people are documenting, the team is documenting what you wear to the plane, to the games, and a lot of people see that. And if they see you wearing it again, hopefully the team will catch it if you do wear it again and say, you wore this before, and they won't post it. But yeah.
It gets crazy.
But I mean, over the years, I've been in the league 10, 11 years, you're 11 now. And over the years, you've got enough clothes to where you don't change in size much.
Yeah.
So shoes, you have to get rid of a lot of stuff. Luckily and thankfully for me, Puma's always sending something every other day. It's just too much stuff.
Okay.
So I'm constantly getting rid of stuff. So if I ever run out of other branded clothes outside of Puma, I'll be fine because I have plenty of Puma stuff to wear every day.
Gotcha. Okay, so if Puma ever has any bundles that, for whatever reason, your short arms can't fit.
Right,
give it
because
to-
you got the long Gary Payton arms.
There you go.
Got you.
I want to talk about a couple of basketball quirks
Okay.
that you kind of have going on. And you brought that to my attention because during the Raptors game, I remember after you missed a 3 or 2, you kind of clapped your hands. And I think I've watched you long enough to know that, okay, you're kind of mad you didn't hit that 3. As
For
opposed to
sure.
just like letting it happen.
For sure. Well, when you get the open ones, the good looks, those are the ones you got to capitalize on. And when I know I missed those and they felt good, or I know I'm not going to get another one like that, that's when it's frustrating.
Okay, more quirks that I've noticed. I'm not stalking you,
Okay.
but I'm watching, I'm observing.
You're observing.
You
Okay.
always pull up your knee pads. Like,
They're
what is
not.
that?
They're kind of a pain in the when it. Well, one, I started off. I realized I had the wrong size. So when they're not the right size, they kind of slide down more. Now I got the right size, but they still, because there's knee sleeves. It would be nice to have, one piece that has, tights that 3/4 that has the knee pads in them. Unfortunately, there aren't anybody that makes those just yet, where there's pads and knee pads or either thicker piece. So I'll try on something different. I think there's some options out there, but there's none that has the knee pads on the 3/4 piece just yet, like the ones that I'm wearing.
Sounds like a sponsorship opportunity.
So
along the
we'll
way.
see. Some ideas, we'll see.
I would like to see you succeed. I'm not necessarily cheering for you, but I would like to see you succeed.
You're not cheering for me.
No.
Why the hell
I'm a
not?
journalist. I can't cheer for you
Why not?
because that's not, listen, you want to be like Big Perk. You can't cheer, right?
You can cheer and then not
could
be
be
biased
happy for
after
you.
work. You can cheer during and then after go back to being a journalist.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Can we just chill with the 2 fouls in the first quarter?
Trust me, I'm trying my best, bro. I don't want to say anything where I get fined, but I would like to get a
You want a solo shot? You want to talk to the camera
I want a
one-on-one?
compilation of all my fouls, and you tell me which ones you think were fair and which ones weren't. It would be nice to see.
Okay.
Some of them, I think I got called for one that wasn't even mine. Kuz ran through a screen, ran right through Seth Curry, and I guess
It's the light
the
skin
ref,
thing.
yeah, it's a light skin thing. I don't know. The ref was like, Kuz said he didn't run through him. I'm like, the next time I go to the bench, they say 2 fouls. I'm like, no, I only fouled 1. And so they gave you Kuz's foul, and I tried to get it changed. They said you can't. They couldn't change it. They said they couldn't go back in. I said, what new rule is this? Like, what the? It's not like you're taking a foul away. You're just giving it to the right person.
Yeah.
And they couldn't. I had to sit the whole first quarter in Dallas, or most of the first half because I had 2, and the second one wasn't even mine.
All right. Well, please just.
I'm trying my best, man.
I would
Trust me.
like to see some.
I know. As a defensive guy, I'd love to be on the. But for some reason, also to be fair, I just can't see myself not playing defense. Regardless of how many fouls I have, I cannot just give up a layup a lot of times, and that's just the pride in me to where I'm gonna have to hack out of somebody, man. I'm gonna have to grab you.
Yeah.
I just can't just let it go.
Yeah.
But I have to let it go sometimes. But I said, if you get a little compilation of all the fouls I have and
I'm just
look at
talking
them,
specifically the first quarter.
I want the whole game.
Okay.
I should stay less than 3 or 4 fouls a game, but it's been a struggle.
And the last thing here before we go to break, and this is not necessarily about you, but I need this intel.
Okay.
And I saw it last year a couple times, and I'm seeing it now. What's the deal with the high chair on the bench? Like, and
About the
why is it
pad?
only the padded chair, and it's only like Kawhi? I seen sitting in it last year with Toronto. LeBron sits on the high chair,
Well,
padded
there's
chair.
different types
Why
of.
can't you get a padded chair? And what's the deal with
I
it?
can if I wanted to ask. There's a bunch of pad. There's a pad you put on top of the chair.
Yes.
It's usually for more stability in the back and be higher up and lifted, more so for guys' backs.
But I never see the 15th man get the padded chair. Next episode, I'm coming back with a pad. You could stay in your.
You need the pad. You need the height.
Take us to break, Danny. Good.
We'll see you guys soon.
Back with Kendrick
When
Perkins.
Big Perk comes, Big Perk comes on the show.
More Inside the Green Room on the way.
Coming up on Inside the Green Room.
If I'm not watching basketball, my secondary sport is football, and then I love boxing, then my TV's not on. So I'm gonna watch Power, of course.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the Green Room with two-time champ, Danny Green.
And I'm happy to have my guy, Kendrick Perkins, on the show.
Hey, what's up,
Appreciate
D?
you coming out,
Appreciate
man.
it. One of my favorite players.
Appreciate
Had
you,
to.
man. Same,
You know
man.
what it is.
Yeah, we were the guys that did the dirty work, had to come up. It's good to see you on TV, man. I wonder how that came about.
Man, so it's crazy because, you know, I wasn't really ready to retire. I tried all the routes. I even went to the G League, and then I had that last stint with Cleveland. We went to the finals, and then, you know, reality hit where your phone stopped ringing. So, you know, you don't get those calls, and GM's not responding back to your agent. So it's like, okay, what's next? So my agent and I actually put together something where we was gonna get, you know, I played for 5 organizations, and so, no, I actually played for 4 organizations. So what I was trying to do was get, let the other teams know out there, you know, that I know the game of basketball, because my goal ultimately, I wanted to be the next head coach that was a big man that played in the league, because I feel like that's not in existence no more. Like, point guards are not the only people that know the game of basketball.
For sure.
So, you know, I wanted to, I didn't care what steps I needed to take or whatever the case may be, so I wanted to go that route. So I did the Woj podcast just to get my knowledge out there and start speaking. And I started doing the Get Up in Bristol, and next thing I know, I started getting calls back. I went down to the Combine, I coached there, and all of a sudden they're like, man, Perk, they got you booked for the whole playoffs with ESPN and Fox. I did Undisputed, and they kept calling me back, and I started liking it. Then all of a sudden, I started loving it. I'm like, man, I get to go on TV, talk about the game I love, and that's all I do. If I'm not watching basketball, you know, my secondary sport is football, and then I love boxing, then my TV's not on. So I'm not, I mean, I'm gonna watch Power, of course, you know,
Of course.
but my TV is not on. And so I actually started really loving, so I started really, you know, doing my homework. So I'm catching myself watching the games. I'm catching myself writing notes, you know, pre-gaming, actually going to bed early. I'm supposed to be at the studio at 7. I'm there at 6:15. You know, I'm taking it serious.
That's
So,
what's up, man.
and then it just took off, and it's like, you know, I'm a country boy from Texas. You know, I'm not a guy that's gonna go on there and speak with, you know, big words and all that. I'm just gonna go on there and keep it real and talk actual basketball.
And that's what the people
Yeah,
like.
that's what they like. So that's how that all came about. And then now, like, I'm here right now today, and
Man, you're doing it. You're doing it. So you wanted to coach first, actually, and then kind of just fell into this and started really loving doing it. That's awesome, man. It's something I kind of want to look into when I'm done. Hopefully.
Coaching?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try to be. He's my idol, man. I'm looking up to.
There you go.
You know, trying to follow the footsteps he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's
all
doing
you
it
gotta
well.
do is be yourself, Dan.
So the toughest thing for me, and this is what I wanted to ask, is when you're on set and you're talking. Obviously, you're talking teams, you're talking players, coaches, and you know how hard it is to be in this league and to make it, or to even do anything, or have a role in this league. So you never really want to criticize anybody.
Right.
So I want to know how you really manage, you know, criticizing certain guys, players in the league, you know, and trying to keep that line, that border, without actually disrespecting them.
Well, I mean, it's hard because you can't be biased. So you got to call it like you see it. But I try not to, I don't kill people, you know, but, you know, humor brings, you got to have some type of humor in it too. So, but you try not to kill them because, you know, I always, like on one show, I told them, you know, I always respond to people on Twitter when they be like, oh, this guy in the league is a bum, and I always check that real quick.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the NBA that is a bum.
Yeah.
You know, this is the greatest players in the world. But for us with me, you know, it's hard, but you got to speak facts.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So you got to speak facts, and I try to speak it where I don't necessarily kill a guy.
You
know
don't
what I
attack
mean?
them personally.
Yeah, you just want, hey man, look, he's not getting the job done right now. Like last year, for example, during the finals, I didn't know that Fred VanVleet was having a baby, and I know the process of having a child, but for a while he was thinking it up, right? And then all of a sudden, after he had the baby, I didn't know he was going through all the travel. After he had his baby, he turned his game up another notch. And I was like, man, I turned right back around. I'm like, Fred VanVleet out here balling.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, as soon as the season started this year, I went to my Twitter and I said, you know what? Hey, man, I'd like to apologize to Fred VanVleet because I didn't know he was going through, you know, having the birth of his first child or whatever during the playoffs. This guy could flat out hoop. Much respect. Fred VanVleet commented like, much love, man, I appreciate it. And he can hoop. Like, he can flat out go.
No, Fred
you know,
go,
and so
man.
it's hard because you have some guys that get in their feelings and, you know, they might not talk to you or whatever the case. But the guys I don't know, I don't even care.
Yeah.
So like I was big on y'all last year. Like, you know, I was big on Toronto. I knew y'all had the pieces. I knew y'all was coming out the East. I called it. Y'all made me proud. And I couldn't wait for y'all to beat the Warriors. And I was just on the Warriors. I get a lot of heat from the Warrior fans, and I'm always on Steve Kerr. So, like, for example, Steve Kerr had to start the season. I'm like, okay, cool, Clay out. Now we get to see you what you really about. Now you got a coach, actually. You don't have a dream team. You have the coach now. And, you know, I don't care because me and Steve Kerr not cool, so it don't even matter. We don't speak say a word ever again in life. It don't even matter to me.
No 10 days in Golden State for you, just in case?
No 10 days. So that's how it is, man. It's a give and take. But you try not to go overboard like with killing a guy on TV, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to personally attack anyone, but it's always said a weird line, like you don't want, because you have to see these guys.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever approached you and like, you know, said something or said like, you know, obviously some people say, I respect what you say and I really appreciate the love. Has anybody ever approached you? You know how Stephen A. and Skip, they get on guys. Has anybody came to you like, you know, Perk, come on, man, you're killing me?
Nah, not really, man.
This is Kendrick
Perkins.
Perkins.
But not even that. It's more so like, you know, you could tell, you can get that vibe. They may not speak, and I just won't speak either. I mean, like, if I don't know you, but if it's somebody I know, like, for example, on the jump today, I had to kind of go at my boy Russell Westbrook. Now, me and him are good friends. I didn't attack him, but I had to disagree with the comment that he said about Patrick Beverly last night.
Okay.
And how I did it was, I'm like, Russ, you know you my little homie, you my partner, but you was wrong on this one. This is how Patrick Beverly eats. This guy's a defender.
Yeah.
You know, we can't do this. We can't, you know, so it's a way to go about it. You know what I mean? So I disagreed with him, but I didn't, you know, make it to the point where I killed him.
Okay.
Coming up on Inside the Green Room.
We playing AAU. We got guys, you know, at that time, you drinking Gatorade, you may be eating a bag of chips, you may even eat a Snicker or something like that. This guy was eating fruit. Like
A 16-year-old.
at 18 years old, he was that advanced, you know what I mean? Like, already taking care of his body, and it was just, it was amazing.
You and I spoke last year in the finals, and you said you told KD you didn't want him to play.
Right.
What's your relationship now with KD after those times?
I mean, it's still the same. You know, KD is who KD is. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just like you having a brother or family member or whatever the case may be. We fight at times. We disagree at times. We argue all the time. We argue when we was in OKC. It didn't mean nothing, but we got genuine love. We also then, you know, shared those personal moments where we talk about family issues. So that's a brotherhood that could never be broken. But at the end of the day, you know, my whole thing was I'd rather him be mad at me because I got his best interest at heart and not talk to me for about a month. I'm cool with that. But you know that I was saying that he shouldn't have played. He got mad at me for saying it, but I mean, it was the truth. You shouldn't have played.
I want your comments also on Anthony Davis, and Danny, chime in as well. So he's dealing with shoulder discomfort, and obviously you being a big man, being in the paint, having to deal with big bodies all your career. How would you advise AD on handling it? Because it seems like it's something that he wants to kind of work throughout the course of the season without missing substantial time.
Well, the thing is, this is not like the shoulder problem with AD just didn't start this year. Like, he's been dealing with this for like 4 or 5 years now. So he knows how to play through this. He knows this is an injury that he's been battling through. So, yeah, he know it may hurt for a minute on one play or whatever the case may be, but, you know, I thought, like, yesterday was the wise decision what the Lakers made, you know. He's a little banged up, his ribs or whatever, you know, his shoulders hurt. Okay, sit him out of this back-to-back. You know, let Kuzma come in and start, you know what I'm saying, give him this opportunity because he's been out. Let him go out there and shine. It's not going to hurt anything. And obviously, you know, y'all, no disrespect to the Warriors, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do, but that team still play hard, but, you know, play against Phoenix and we'll sit you out against the Warriors at home. I like the way they played those odds.
Oh, yes, I like our team, and I like the fact that we have so many pieces. Any given night, anybody can step up and have a big game for us. And it'd be great, said if we can rest those guys more than, you know what I'm saying, it'd be nice. AD probably needs maybe another game or so. But like you said, you never know. He's been dealing with different issues throughout the years. You never know how serious it is, what he can fight through, what he can. But it's early in the season. Right now, we're playing for, you know, April, May, and June, and it's not that important to make sure that you're, you know, fighting through these games. These games, obviously, we need them. We want to win, but I feel like we can win a lot of games without him right now because we have Bron, of course, and so many other pieces. And Rondo's back now, another playmaker. So we got some good things rolling.
See, the good thing about y'all, the Lakers, and this is why I got y'all picked to win a championship. Y'all have so much championship experience, and y'all have so many great vets in that locker room. And this is why also, you know, before y'all signed Dwight Howard, when everybody was like, oh, Joakim, no, I'm like, no, y'all need to get Dwight Howard. This is the perfect situation for him because he could go into this locker room and they have vets in there that's gonna hold him accountable. You have Danny Green, you have LeBron James, you have Rajon Rondo, you have Jared Dudley. So he can't come in, he has to focus, and he also knows his last chance. I don't care what this guy does off the court. When this guy steps on the court, he's been a problem every time. People can say what they want, but he always managed to finish with a 12-12 and 5 blocks. I don't care what nobody says, and this is what, and you're right, resting players. Just think about it. Y'all have Jared Dudley that sits on the bench. This guy could not play for 5 games, and he played some inspiring basketball last night. I call him a poor man's James Posey of our 08 Celtic team. And when you watching y'all team, man, y'all are deep. Y'all got championship, even with Quinn Cook being to the finals a couple times, JaVale McGee being to the finals. Y'all have what it take, and when you have a team like that, then you can rest AD, you know, and let him heal up. It's going to be hard to rest Bron because he's on a mission right now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take no games off.
And he's a physical specimen. We haven't seen nothing like this. You know, I've been around a lot of players. I've never seen a guy like LeBron James. You know, this guy spends $2 million a year on his body. He gets treatment around the clock. People don't know the sacrifice that he puts into his body. Danny knows now that you're on this team, but you have to actually see it and witness it to see what this guy does.
Every day, hours. He's there early, he's there late, and it's usually on his body. But you know, that's why he's he's best in the world. Speaking of Bron, I didn't know this, but you played AAU with him.
Yeah.
How was that like? What was like the favorite moments back then when you were a kid, back in your young days?
They actually put that 100-mile radius rule into play at one point because
of that.
Oh, because y'all were just super teaming.
Oakland Soldiers. And favorite moment, man, I remember we played in this tournament down in Houston, Texas, and they just set us up for failure. We played 8 games on a Saturday in one day, right? And it was just crazy. And we get all the way to the championship that night, and we get beat by DC Assault. And I remember one guy was just talking noise to him. He had scored on Bron on the block, and Bron like ran off like 25 straight and got us down to like a 2-point game because they was blowing us off, and he just woke up a sleeping giant. But I just remember him coming in, and in the layup line, he just put on a show. And I was just sitting up here like, man, this is crazy, man. Like, where did he come from? But the favorite, like, outside of that, now we playing AAU we got guys, you know, at that time you drinking Gatorade, you may be eating a bag of chips, you may even eat a Snicker or something like that. This guy was eating fruit. Like
A 16-year-old.
at 18 years old, he was that advanced, you know what I mean?
Taking
Like,
care,
already taking care of his body, and it was just, it was amazing to me.
Start your career with the end of your career with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man.
Coming up on Inside the Green Room.
I just hear somebody in the background with this old squeaky, you know, voice just, hey man, shut up, man. Yeah. So I'm like, man, who you talking to? And then all of a sudden it just went up from there, like, I'm talking to you. I'm like, man, look, dog, I ain't with all that, man. Like, you know, I'm for real. So then we get into it. So then they break it up, and then like during the game, he looking down the sideline talking about, so I'm looking at him like, come on, man, like for real.
Remember that series against the Raptors? The infamous series where I remember LeBron kind of twirled the ball in front of Serge and then shot the three. Another popular moment in that series was your beef with Drake.
Right.
Please give us all the
A
details.
little insight.
Yeah, a little insight.
Have y'all spoken since?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
It's real.
No, it's real. But I mean, I ain't ducking or dodging, but I'm not looking for it.
Yeah.
But it's just the point. Like he kind of, first of all, I was messing with Serge. You know what I mean? We walk in. You know, in Toronto, everybody walk out the same tunnel.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So Serge and we're cool. Like I basically raised Serge and for us in OKC, took him under my wing, showed him the ropes on just, you know, certain things on the defensive end and stuff like that. Just, you know, and me and Serge had we rocked together for 4.5 years. So as we was walking off the court, it's like, yeah, Serge, I ain't getting this one today. You know, I'm just talking, messing with him. And then I just hear somebody in the background with this old squeaky, you know, voice just, hey man, shut up, man. Yeah. So I'm like, man, who you talking to? And then all of a sudden it just went up from there, like, I'm talking to you. I'm like, man, look, dog, I ain't with all that, man. Like, you know, I'm for real. So then we get into it. So then they break it up. And then, like, during the game, he looking down the sideline talking about some after the game. So I'm looking at him like, come on, man, like, for real. So they was telling me to walk through the other tunnel around. Nah, I want to walk this way. So now as I'm walking this
I'm going that way.
Yeah, I'm walking past him. And I'm like, well, what's happening? Now all of a sudden I see like 6 or 7 little mini-me bodyguards like running up like, what's happening? I'm like, man, come on, man, really? This is what you on? So it's just, that's how it is. He started the whole thing. Like,
well, you know, he said I'm not gonna play because there's a lot of fun during the playoffs. He does a lot of antics, and it's all in good fun. But you can't take that serious, man. You gotta.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't. But it, and I don't want to curse, but it was the disrespect for words. You know what I mean? And to me, this is my problem. What I have about Drake, you know, my thing is that I understand he represents for the Six, and he's a diehard Raptors fan. But at times, when he sit on the sideline, he tries to all kind of, you know, it instantly go from being about the Toronto Raptors and basketball to being about Drake and what he's doing on the sideline. This is not your moment. This is the Raptors moment. It's good. Sit over there. Do like Jay-Z do. When him and B go to the game, the camera come on them. Hey, they here, boo. You don't have to do the extra. You don't have to talk to the opposing team and get into it. Because I wasn't the first guy that he didn't, you know, talk noise to. So that's all it was.
He helped us. I ain't complaining. He helped us. He had a nice little playoff run.
Danny will play ambassador between you and Drake. He'll break bread between y'all.
Yeah,
Does that work?
We'll make it work.
But I think we cool though, because we kind of under the same. You know, one of our quote unquote OGs in Houston is Jay Prince, and we both part of the Rap A Lot family. So he made us, you know, squash that, and it's gone.
Yeah, the Prince is good people, man. Big
So,
shout out to them.
Last year, Kendrick, you spent a lot of time in Toronto watching Kawhi Leonard. You even called him Kawhi Jordan. Now, LeBron and Kawhi in the same conference. Who are you taking?
I'm taking LeBron. But listen, let me make this clear. All right, I wasn't saying Kawhi was Jordan. I wasn't saying that. I'm saying if you watch Kawhi Leonard game, it mimics Michael Jordan. And I said that from the jump, and it does. If you watch everything about Kawhi, he mimics Michael Jordan from his pull-up, mid-range, the way he palms the ball, the way he dunks. Everything about him mimics Michael Jordan. I didn't say he was MJ. I never said that. That's why I was calling him Kawhi Jordan, because he got that Michael Jordan type game from his fadeaways and everything. And then all of a sudden, it comes out later down the line where his college coach was like, oh man, Kawhi used to be on the back of the bus. He wasn't listening to music. He was watching Michael Jordan clips. That Michael Jordan was his favorite player. And then, you know, I posted something where everything was the same. His form, the way he played defense, it's just, you know, he mimics Michael Jordan game. And it's not, I know, you know, Michael Jordan is the GOAT and he's MJ, but there's nothing wrong with comparing and saying that somebody plays like him.
Exactly. So
I'm assuming you're taking LeBron now.
I mean,
You've been in a hard spot.
Of course, first of all, obviously.
Yes.
When I'm my teammate, first off. Second, I said if you're going by different categories, but overall, I think Bron, there's nothing. So we've never seen anything like him. Not only is he a great player and a great scorer, but he makes his teammates better, and he's a great playmaker. He's a great teammate. He's a great leader, on and off the floor. There's nobody better. So, and he's been doing it for so long. His longevity is unbelievable. Obviously, Kawhi's unbelievable talent has grown and emerged as one of the prolific defenders and now a prolific scorer. And, you know, he still has load management with his knee and stuff like that, so we don't know how long he'll do it for. And he's great, too. And he's still learning how to become, you know, one of those great leaders. And he's doing a good job so far with the Clippers. But, you know, for me, you know, Bron has always been, you know, the best player in the game, you know, for the 15, 16 years he's been in the league.
Coming up on Inside the Green Room.
A lot of people take role players for granted. Just because you're not the superstar don't mean that you're not a viable piece to the puzzle.
We wanted you on the show because you always keep it real.
All right, talk to me.
Who is the biggest, what's the most disappointing thing about the NBA so far this season? And it could be a team, it could be a player, it can be just a trend that you see. What's not vibing right with you?
Well, it's kind of like, I got a few things, and I'm glad the Clippers corrected it today and said like knee management, but I'm having a problem with the load management. And this is the problem that I'm having with it, is because it's contagious, okay? And you look at it like last week, Morant from Memphis, he sat out because of load management. Bro, y'all not making the playoffs. You're young. You know, this is what we signed up for. And I feel like it's disrespectful to the guys such as, you know, the Barkleys, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, who paved the way, who the Kevin McHale's, who were only making $1 million if max, or $2 million a year, and playing 82 games and playing them, you know, to the fullest, hurt. You know, Kevin McHale played on a fractured foot. And here it is today where you got max guys and guys are getting paid bankrolls. We're talking about, like, guys are getting paid from $30 to $40 million in 1 year. And without these fans, we wouldn't even be where we at today. And so I think we owe it to the fans. Now, if you hurt, sit out. Like AD, he have actual injuries. It's not load management. Load management to me is rest. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that I have with it, is because if I'm a father and I have a 9-to-5 job, and I decide to take my wife and my 4 kids to go watch the Lakers versus the Bucks, and I pay $1,000 for some nice good seats, some nice seats, and that's $1,000 out of my pocket. Coming out of a regular household, that's a lot of money. And you pay for that, and then all of a sudden I get to the game and they say, Giannis is not playing because of low management. I'm like, what? Like, You know, obviously I came to see the game, but I wanted to see this matchup. You know, I'm furious. And I think they had that in Milwaukee last year when Braun and Giannis didn't play, and a guy brought him and his son some front row tickets, and guess what happened? The Milwaukee Bucks did a good thing because they reimbursed the guy for his money because he was unhappy. He sent in a complaint. That's one of the things I have. And then another thing that I'm kind of disappointed in is that I'm disappointed in the Portland Trail Blazers. Well, I'm not disappointed in them.
You just higher expectations for them?
Well, you know, I didn't. I'm disappointed at the moves that they made this summer. And the reason being is because I think a lot of people take role players for granted. Just because you're not the superstar don't mean that you're not a viable piece to the puzzle. And letting Mo Harkless go, Aminu, Seth Curry, and then you get injuries with Big Nurkic, and now Zach Collins is out. And then you get fooled by the Heat, and you take on Hassan Whiteside. You get fooled. Pat Riley pulled one over your eyes. He saw.
Why you say it's fooled, Kendrick?
What you mean? They've been trying to trade him for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you get fooled by the fool's goal. See, a lot of people get fooled by looking at the box scores. You know what I mean? Instead of actually watching the game and seeing, man, this guy brings value, like a Patrick Beverly. Like, it's been times I didn't watch Danny Green have 5 points, but I didn't also watch him take 2 charges, 3 chase down blocks, 3 steals, be in the right position for strips, chase down people who have layup strip off your knee. Those are winning plays, and people always go to the box scores and say, oh, he's balling. And that's how Hassan Whiteside is. You go, oh, man, he had 12 and 12 off the bench. That's fool's gold. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's fool's gold. And it could be like this sometimes. Just think about it. Jason Tatum went, I think, 1 for 17 the other night, like 2 nights ago or something like that. But he had like a plus 15 on the stat sheet. That means he was valuable. He was out there.
In your opinion, how do you think the NBA, the season is going to finish? Awards, champions, et cetera. Playoff teams, East and West, MVP, Sixth Man of the Year.
We can't do everything.
Why not? I mean, we can do it.
We got
what
like
comes to
5.
mind.
We got like 5 minutes.
And I'm not saying this because you're sitting right here. So this is my prediction for the finals. I have the Toronto Raptors versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
What? Really?
Toronto's still coming out the
I
East.
have Toronto coming out the East, man. Listen, I'm telling you.
They're balling, man.
They are balling.
And with guys hurt right now, too.
Yeah,
so.
they are balling right now. I have them coming out the East. I mean, these guys are playing in the East. It's up for grabs. Everybody crowned Philly, but I wasn't high on Philly. I thought, I'm not never knocking a man for getting, his money, but I thought, Philly kind of jumped the gun with paying Tobias Harris. He never shown or proven that he was that type of dude to pay $180 million to. He ain't that guy that's in a crucial moment, I believe, that can go get you that 35 that superstars go out there and get you.
Danny trains with Tobias in the summer,
That's my bad, Danny.
It's all good. It's all good. It's the homie. And I understand. And it's his first time being on a playoff team or winning team, and he has something to prove though. He will. I think he will show that he's worth that. But they said that Ben Simmons, they let Jimmy go. But also Milwaukee, a lot of those teams let some pieces go.
Yes.
So Milwaukee let some good role players
Milwaukee
go.
let Brogdon go.
Yeah.
Sixers let Jimmy
Mirotic,
Butler,
even though
JJ
they didn't have
go.
a great playoffs, Mirotic is a big piece.
Right.
And
they
he's
took him
not
for
there.
granted.
Yep.
So I like 6 man. I'm looking more so like I love Montrezl Harrell. I think he might get the 6 Man of the Year award. I'm looking at the MVP. It's gonna be out of Giannis and LeBron, if you ask me, because of what they doing.
Yeah.
I got a couple first-time All-Stars that I got. Luka for sure would be one. Siakam would be one.
Has to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have to.
He might get most improved again too.
He might get most improved again.
Yeah, he might
he's
get
crazy.
most improved.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are the guys that I'm looking at right now.
Okay. Danny, before we go home, Kendrick, and maybe you can explain this to Kendrick, because a lot of our viewers were asking about that.
Oh, okay. So you eat breakfast in the morning, right? You eat a bowl of cereal every once in a while.
I eat bowls of cereal. a lot.
Okay. So when you make your cereal, how do you make your cereal?
I put my milk in first, and then I put my cereal on top.
You had this discussion before you.
Yo, thank you.
No, that's how I do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I pour my milk and then put my cereal on top of
I feel like y'all had this discussion
No, we
before.
did not
was-
talk about this
Okay.
at all. Kendrick, you know
So you
what's
do
up.
milk before cereal?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You see?
It's different.
It's different.
But it keeps it not, it doesn't get soggy
It
that
don't
way.
get soggy. That's the whole thing.
I guess I have to try it. I have to
You know
try
what I'm saying?
it before I knock it.
So you didn't believe me, but now that Kendrick said it, you're going to try it out.
You know what I'm saying? Respected NBA guy here.
That's it. That's what it
so-
is, D.
You know, he's doing well on and off the court now. I'm trying to follow his lead, so now I start
And,
put my
and it
damn.
starts with the cereal before the milk.
I gotta start with my milk now.
Or the milk before the cereal. There we go.
Yeah, right.
And actually, listen, I ain't gonna even lie. My wife actually put me on that.
Okay.
Because at first I was doing it the other way, and she was like, you need to try to pour your milk in first, then your cereal. And I'm like, huh? She's like, I'm telling you why. I was like, ever since then, I've been rocking with it.
That's what's up.
Recently, the Spurs said thank you to Tony. Mercy, Tony.
Yes.
I don't know if you have too many memories of Tony as an opponent, but
Tony
Danny, if you
Parker.
want to reflect on the time with Tony.
Man, I
before we
really
go
wanted
home.
to make that too, and I was disappointed and sad I couldn't be there. It's just that it's tough with the NBA season, intricate part. We're traveling this, that, and other. And, you know, unfortunately, we had come off a loss as well. Just too quick of a turnaround for me to fly to San Antonio and try to get to Phoenix with a new team, new system, new coaching staff. But I heard he had some great words to share about me as a teammate. You know, I was in the the backcourt with that guy for so many years, and we've covered for each other, been in so many battles. I couldn't thank Tony enough for teaching me the things that he's taught me. You know, just by how he operated, not even but also talking to me, and also dealing with Pop. He's helped me through some years, some months, some hours, minutes, you know, practice and some film sessions. So I'm happy for him. He had a hell of a career, man, and I'm happy for him. He got his jersey in wrapped. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player. It would have been nice if it was later in the year, or maybe probably against a Charlotte team, since he finished in Charlotte. But he's a beautiful family now. You know, he's enjoying retirement with the other guys that are retired. Hopefully he doesn't get on the sideline and coach like Timmy's doing right now. Timmy's not too happy about it. But you know, Tony's big in the front office, so I think he has a team in France. He's doing it. Who knows what he'll do over here? But I'm looking forward to seeing him again and congratulating him in person and actually
well
celebrating.
deserved. Because I remember growing up as a kid when Tony Parker first got on the Spurs, and I was like, because he was always fast, but you remember he had trouble finishing around the basket. I was like, what the Spurs doing? Then all of a sudden he just kept improving every year and turned his game to a complete, to a whole nother level. So much respect. And I remember, playing against these guys. We had us some battles when I was in Oklahoma City. And I just remember, I remember one time we was just down and I just couldn't stop him in the pick and roll. The pick and roll coverage, I was supposed to be up, and he'd come down. He was spinning up off me until the point where he was like, you know what, Perk? We came back home. We was down 0-2. He was like, we just go switch it, and you go just have to sit down and guard. I'm like, oh, it is what it is.
It's tough. He said his finishes were crazy. He's the guy. He mastered that same leg, same foot. Finishes, scoop down here off the glass, spin it. He was amazing with that, man. And you got a spin move off. He was tough to guard in the pick and roll because he had to pull up and he had quick feet and quick finishes. Throw it up anywhere on the glass and it'll catch the rim and spin in. So a big shout out to Tony, man. Congratulations.
For sure. I want to say thank you to Tony Parker for being one of the best point guards of this generation. Thank you to Danny for playing hurt because he got a little.
Yeah, a little sickness, but So
thank you for playing hurt.
Ain't nothing to it.
Kendrick, thank you for coming
appreciate
through.
You coming out, big
I
dog.
appreciate y'all
Much
having
love,
me.
man.
For real, man.
Yeah.
That's
Danny,
what's up.
You know the deal. What they got to do?
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
You purposely messing this up.
Yeah. I know most of it.
Subscribe, rate, review,
you
Inside
go.
the Green Room. Green Room Inside on Twitter, Inside Green Room on Instagram. See you next time.